The door slammed so hard the picture frames rattled. "Take your things and get out," he shouted, voice cold, eyes burning with pride. His mother froze at the threshold, clutching the small bag she had packed in silence. After everything she'd done, every sacrifice, every night she worked 2 shifts just to keep this roof over his head, her own son was now throwing her out of it. "You're ungrateful, old woman," he snapped. "This house is mine now. I pay for everything." She didn't argue. She just looked around one last time, then whispered something he didn't understand until it was too late. "Then you better check whose name is on the deed." The argument started over something small, a late bill, a comment about respect, but it ended like a storm tearing through a calm day. Tyler Ross, 27, stood in the middle of his living room, or at least what he thought was his, wearing designer sneakers, holding a half-empty glass of whiskey. His mother, Angela, stood near the hallway, clutching her old purse to her chest, calm but visibly tired. The lines around her eyes told the story of decades of sacrifice, working nights as a home care nurse, saving every penny to help her only son build a better life. But now, the same son was looking at her like she was a stranger. "Mom, you can't just keep staying here," Tyler said, pacing. "I'm 30 next year. I need my own space, my own life." "Your own life?" she repeated softly. "Tyler, this is the same house I raised you in. You wouldn't even have this roof if I didn't." "You didn't pay for this house, Mom," he snapped, cutting her off. "I pay the bills now. I renovated it. You just live here rent-free." Her eyes softened with a kind of sadness that was too old for her age. "And that's what you think? That rent makes a home yours?" He sighed, frustrated, turning away. "Look, I've got friends come and stay. You've got your pension. You'll be fine." Angela didn't argue. She'd seen this tone before, not from him, but from his late father when pride spoke louder than reason. She walked slowly toward the front door. He followed, impatient, arms crossed. At the door, she stopped and turned. Her voice didn't rise. It didn't shake. "Tyler, I hope one day you realize what's real and what's borrowed." "Yeah, whatever that means," he muttered, opening the door wider. She stepped outside with her single bag and closed the door behind her, but not before glancing once at the wall where her late husband's photo hung. Then she was gone. The house felt bigger, emptier. Tyler played music louder, hosted poker nights, showed off to friends. "You kicked your mom out?" "Damn, man, that's cold." One friend laughed. "She's fine," Tyler said casually. "I gave her more than enough. She'll manage." He didn't notice the envelopes piling near the counter. Letters from a bank, property tax reminders, insurance notifications, all addressed to Angela Ross. One night, while bragging about his house to a date, she looked around and smiled politely. "You own this place?" she asked. "Yeah," he said proudly. "Got it a few years back. Mom helped me at first, but I took it from there." She ran her hand over a framed photo of Angela holding baby Tyler on the front porch. "You took it from her, huh?" she said under her breath, smiling faintly. He didn't catch the tone. 3 weeks later, Tyler found a thick white envelope in the mailbox. From City Property Office, subject, ownership verification notice. He frowned. Inside was a notice regarding updated property tax filing, listing the primary owner as Angela Ross. His chest tightened. He laughed at first. Must be an error. He drove straight to the city office the next morning. After waiting in line for over an hour, he handed the clerk his ID and smiled confidently. "Yeah, I'm here to verify ownership for 241 Maple Street. Should be under Tyler Ross." The clerk typed a few keys, frowned, then turned the monitor slightly. "Sir, this property is fully registered to Angela L. Ross. Has been for 15 years. "That's impossible," he said, voice rising. "I paid the mortgage." "Not according to our records," the clerk said calmly. "She refinanced it under her name after the 2008 collapse. You're listed only as an occupant." The words hit like a slow crash. Occupant, not owner. He walked out in silence. The world outside suddenly looked sharper, colder. That evening, Tyler drove to the small apartment complex where his mother was staying. He stood outside her door for almost 5 minutes before knocking. When she opened it, she didn't look surprised, just sad. "Tyler," she said softly, "you found out." He swallowed hard. "Why didn't you tell me? That the house was yours?" She sighed. "Because I wanted you to earn respect, not ownership." He looked away, shame flickering across his face. "Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." She shook her head. "You meant every word, Tyler. But maybe now you'll learn what they cost." He thought the worst was embarrassment. He hadn't yet learned the meaning of consequences, because when Angela's lawyer arrived the next week, the real lesson began. The following week, Tyler sat at the kitchen counter, what he still called his house. The laughter, the parties, the loud music, all gone. Now, only silence filled the rooms. Every corner reminded him of her. Her sewing kit still sat in the cabinet. Her handwriting still labeled the spice jars. The same kitchen where she once cooked breakfast now felt like a courtroom waiting for a verdict. And the verdict came, just not the one he expected. It was mid-morning when a black sedan pulled into the driveway. A woman in a navy suit stepped out, briefcase in hand. Tyler opened the door cautiously. "Can I help you?" "Mr. Ross?" she asked, adjusting her glasses. "I'm attorney Denise Cole, representing Angela Ross." His stomach dropped. "My mother hired a lawyer?" "She's not suing you," Denise said calmly. "She's simply exercising her rights as the sole legal owner of this property." "What rights?" he said, voice rising. She opened the folder. "To reclaim her residence and to formally remove any unauthorized occupant under New York State property law." His jaw tightened. "You mean she's evicting me?" "Not evicting," Denise said smoothly. "Reclaiming. You asked her to leave. She's granting you the same courtesy." The next day, he sat across from his mother at a mediation table. Angela wore a plain navy dress, her hair tied neatly back. She looked peaceful, not proud, not angry, just done. "Tyler," she began, "this is a revenge. I just can't keep paying for a house where I'm not welcome." "Mom, please," he said, voice cracking. "I messed up. I was angry. I didn't mean it." "You said you wanted your own space," she replied gently. "Now you have it." The mediator slid a folder across the table. Inside was a property reassignment form, confirming that she would continue as sole owner and resident, with full right to restrict occupancy. "Wait," Tyler said. "You're not really kicking me out, are you?" "Tyler," she said, eyes soft, "you did that yourself." A week later, Tyler moved into a small one-bedroom apartment on the edge of town. No backyard, no porch swing, no framed photo of his father smiling by the fireplace. Just walls, blank, silent, cold. He scrolled through old photos on his phone. Birthdays, Christmas mornings, family dinners, realizing too late that every memory had been built inside a house he didn't respect enough to keep. He called her one night. She answered after a few rings. "Mom." "Yes, Tyler. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry." "I know," she said softly, "and I forgive you, but forgiveness doesn't mean return. Sometimes distance is the price of growth." He nodded, tears in his voice. "You're right." Tyler pulled up outside the same house one sunny afternoon. Fresh paint, new flowers, and a welcome sign on the door. Angela was hosting a small neighborhood cookout. Laughter, music, kids running around the yard. When she saw him at the gate, she smiled kindly. "You came." "Yeah," he said, smiling nervously. "Just wanted to drop this off." He handed her a small box. Inside was a set of house keys he'd once called his. "Guess they belong where they should have stayed," he said. Angela touched his shoulder gently. "You've grown up, Tyler." "Took losing everything to realize what I had," he said. She nodded. "That's how some lessons sound, quiet, but they last forever." Respect doesn't start with who owns the house. It starts with who built the home. And sometimes the people you push away are the ones who own everything that ever mattered. He thought losing the house was the end, until his mother's new revealed one final lesson about love and legacy.